Hello again. We have some very wet and windy weather set to arrive across the UK as we go through Monday night into Tuesday. Starting off looking at the bigger picture, and here's the front that brought heavy rain earlier on Monday. That's now clearing towards the east with showers following in behind, but our attention has already turned to this area of low pressure out in the Atlantic. This is the remnants of what was Hurricane Lee. Because we have an active jet stream currently in the Atlantic running across to the UK, that low is going to quite quickly make its way towards us. There will be some weather systems ahead of it, bringing some very wet weather, but then as that low gets closer, we're going to see even more wet weather arriving in association with this frontal system. And look how tightly packed those isobars. It's really not just going to be wet, it's going to be windy as well. Back to the here and now though, and here's that front that I mentioned earlier. You can see not only did it bring some rain, but it also formed the boundary between some warm, humid air in the east and also something a little bit cooler, a bit fresher and less humid, which has now crossed its way into the UK. As we go through the rest of Monday, you can see the heavier rain towards the east clearing away, though lingering for a time across parts of Shetland in particular. Plenty of showers following in behind, though some clear spells to start the night, holding on to those clear skies towards far eastern, northeastern parts of Scotland. Otherwise, though, turning increasingly cloudy and wet and windy as this system approaches, particularly across parts of Northern Ireland, Western England and Wales and southwest Scotland too. Because of the cloud and the rain, after perhaps a chilly start to the night, temperatures are going to rise as we go through the early hours of Tuesday morning. So for many, by the time we hit dawn, it's actually going to be pretty mild, most places in double figures. A little bit chillier though, where we have those clear skies across northeastern parts of Scotland. It is going to be a wet day on Tuesday, some heavy and persistent rain spreading its way from west to east, most likely seeing those totals building up across parts of northwest England and western Wales. Most places though having lots of cloud and so some strong winds, perhaps the greatest chance of some bright spells across far northern parts of Scotland. But even here there will be a scattering of showers and still some strong winds with coastal gales possible. Like I said, we are going to see some totals building up, particularly in this area where we have a yellow warning in force. We could see totals of 50 to 100 millimetres of rain quite widely, perhaps locally 150 to 200 millimetres of rain for some places. Though worth bearing in mind, this warning is valid for 36 hours from 6 AM Tuesday to 6 PM Wednesday, and it's most likely over the Welsh mountains where we're going to see those highest totals. Nonetheless though, some disruption is quite likely with some localised flooding in places too. Temperature-wise on Tuesday, and with the cloudy wet weather, though on paper these temperatures are near normal for the time of year, it's going to feel much cooler than that. It's going to feel pretty unpleasant in that unsettled weather. Later on Tuesday, this band of rain then is going to sweep its way east-northeastwards, but further wet weather then arriving from the west, some heavy pulses of rain arriving in association with that frontal system that I showed you at the start. So a cloudy, wet and windy picture as we go through Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. As a result, again, temperatures aren't going to drop much. Most places holding up into the mid-teens in the towns and cities. These temperatures are close to what you'd expect during the daytime, but factor in the unsettled weather. If you are out in it, it's not going to feel mild, it's going to feel pretty unpleasant. As we go through Wednesday itself then, and for many it's another cloudy, wet day. Further spells of heavy rain after spells of heavy rain continuing then across particularly northwestern parts of England, western Wales, which is why the warning's in force, but also some southwestern parts of Scotland could see totals building up as well. So worth bearing in mind there could be some impacts there. By Wednesday afternoon, this heavy band of rain is likely to be across more eastern, central, southern parts of England. And while there will be something a little bit drier following in behind, you can see that rain wraps around, so some heavy rain could be pushing into far northwestern parts of Scotland, and elsewhere there'll be plenty of showers, a rash of showers. And again, although these will rattle through quite quickly on those strong winds, they do bring the risk of some hail, some thunder and some intense downpours too. Once more, temperatures, well, they're near normal for the time of year. Highs in the low 20s towards the southeast, but you still have to factor in those strong winds and that heavy rain. It is going to feel quite unpleasant at times. As we look ahead to the rest of the week and the unsettled weather kind of sticks with us, it is going to turn a little bit cooler perhaps, and although there will be a brief drier spell later on Friday, I think it is just going to be that, quite brief. Aidan has more information on the week ahead's forecast in the week ahead, and you can keep up to date with the full forecast wherever you are on our social media channels, our app and our website. Bye-bye.